Question 3, solve the triangle. Round your answers to 2 decimal places, and we're finding all angles, so they're all going to have degrees. So on this question, when you come across a triangle, think with neither or none of them is a right angle. Think, how am I going to solve this? Law of cosines or law of sines? And you can't use law of sines because you have to know at least one angle. So this one, we actually would call this an angle, not an angle. Duh. S for side. Side, side, side triangle. So when you know 3 sides, you use law of cosine till you get one angle at least. So let's start with A. And when you're looking at your 3 formulas for law of cosines, only one of them has angle A. The first one, the A squared equals. So we're going to use that one. A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC times cosine of A. And we know all the sides, but we don't know the angle. So let's put in all the sides. 11 squared equals 15 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 15 times 16 times cosine of A. And our goal here is to get cosine of A by itself. And once we do that, we will take the inverse. Whenever you're solving for an angle, you have to take the inverse. So I'm going to split this up. I'm going to combine the 15 squared and 16 squared. So 15 squared plus 16 squared is 481. 11 squared is 121. Okay, now let's do this. Negative 2 times 15 times 16 is 480 times cosine of A. And I really know right now you want to subtract these. You're like, oh, that's 1. Awesome, we're done. You cannot do that because you have to multiply first. Remember order of operations. Multiply first. Think of it as an x right here instead of cosine. You wouldn't combine those, right? So we have to get cosine of A by itself. So we're going to start with add or subtract. I'm going to subtract 481 from both sides. I want you to think of it, even if you have to write it like this. Okay? You would not combine those. You would get the x by itself. So I'm going to take 121 minus 481, which is negative 360, equals negative 480 times cosine of A. So again, think of it like this. That's negative 360 equals negative 480x. Now what would you do? You know how to solve these. You would divide both sides by negative 480, right? And that would get x by itself. But we're not done there. So negative 360 divided by negative 480 is 3/4, or negative 0.7 or 0.75. You can leave it however you want. I'm going to do 3/4. Okay, so now we almost have A by itself. How do we get rid of cosine? We take inverse of both sides, right? So that's 1, and we're left with A. And then this goes in the calculator. So inverse cosine of 3/4 is 41.41, rounded to 2 decimal spots. So 41.41 degrees. Guess what? Now we can use law of sines. Now we have an angle with the side across from it. So I can use sine of A over A, and then let's go to B. Sine of B over B. We jump to law of sines after this because it's just so much easier than this big formula. So angle A is 41.41. Side A is 11. We're solving for angle B. and side B is 15. Okay, let's do it. Cross multiply. 11 times sine of B equals 15 times sine of 41.41. Divide both sides by 11. So sine of B equals 15 times sine of 41.41, all divided by 11. Remember, when you're solving for an angle, you have to take the inverse. That's how you get rid of sine. So I'm going to take sine inverse of both sides. That's 1, and now we're just left with B. Okay, and then this whole thing goes in the calculator. So, gosh, I'm running out of room. I'm going to go to functions, inverse sine of 15 times sine of 41.41, all divided by 11. And I'm going to round to 2 decimal spots, so 64.42 degrees. Let's go type that in. Remember to, I forgot already, to add degree after, because we're talking about angles. Okay, all of these angles add to what? They all add to 180. So to find angle C, now that I already have 2, I just get to subtract from 180. So 180 minus 41.41 minus 64.42, I get 74.17.